What is up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea. And tonight I am joined by, one of the faves of the podcast, one of the faves of the channel. Goes back way years in the Ascendance history. I'm joined by season one's Payton Dow. Payton, what is going on? How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm good. Um, yeah, I binged before this episode just so to make sure it
Uh,
was all good. But yeah, no, it's been a while since I've been on, so I'm excited. And what a good episode to come on and talk about. That was juicy.
Payton, so much to talk about. We
Mhm.
have, two people eliminated. We have the hint of the battle back. A lot to discuss here. But I know you said you just binged. That must be a lot. So, what have you been thinking of the season so far?
It's honestly like I just like every time I watch an episode, I just like think back to like what I was going through in my season, and I honestly I don't think I could do it. Like it's so crazy compared to like what I think that we went through, but obviously it was like a lot shorter amount of time. But like I don't think I could deal with this like amount of cracked people. Like these people are freaking crazy.
And especially in this episode, Payton, there's a couple people that just lied straight to people's
But I
faces.
don't think anybody's telling the truth. Like everybody is lying. You don't know what the heck's going on. Like everybody is lying to each other.
Yeah, tough to find loyalty in this game, but fun to watch at least. So let's
Yeah, and
start off.
you're seeing the even duos aren't even like working together anymore. Like I don't know what's going on. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the Eric and Michael duo is so like it's all over the place.
Functional.
But congrats to those guys for winning safety. This was a huge, huge area to win safety because you missed two eliminations and you can hear throughout like what's going on in both boats really easily. But what do you think of that? The Eric, they're just not agreeing, right?
I just well, I did a draft before the season, and I don't even know Eric, but I did call it. Like I literally said, Eric, I feel like is going to be the first person to turn against his duo or to like not agree with them or to like throw them under the bus, and like here we are. I don't know. Like I saw him a little bit in Synergy and a little bit in 1984, and I just like it just he doesn't scream loyalty in any sense of the word. But I mean, I've actually changed the way that I thought about him preseason. So like I'm actually rooting for him now, but I truly think that he just needs to like bite this in the butt. Like he doesn't need to like stop talking about your partner. It's not gonna rub anyone the right way.
Right.
Like you just shut up about it and move on. Like work with who you want to work with, but like shut up about the partner thing. Like you gotta be quiet.
Yeah. And it seems like in this vote, he was not happy with the way that Michael was leaning towards voting for Aaron because of his closeness to Josh. Um, Now I didn't really stick around to see who voted for who because I know there was four votes on Aaron. I'm not really sure who the who did not vote for Aaron.
I don't know either.
Because I couldn't really understand what people were saying for some reason this episode. But we will, if you know, hit it in the comments and
Yeah, someone help us.
let me know. But Peyton, the let's talk about the first vote. The first returner leaving, Billy Stevens,
Mm,
brutal, brutal.
yeah,
I thought his exit was so emotional.
yeah.
What do you think of Billy this season and this grand departure he has?
Um, I love Billy and I've always enjoyed watching him. And I think that I think he was one of the first, if not the first, to like really openly discuss like important topics in today's society. It wasn't just like we're here playing a game. It was like let's play for like a higher purpose, which like I really appreciate that. Game wise, I don't know if he really played any better than he did last time, to be honest with you. I think that he there was a few luck things that went his way this time, but I think it was just because of the cast that he was with. Like I think Taylor helped him out a couple times, and people just like frying their bigger fish the first time instead of voting him. Like I don't think that he necessarily did anything better. I think having his mom helped ground him a little bit, but like I didn't see a huge progression game playing wise. But like I said, I always enjoy watching him and hearing him talk. Obviously,
He's going to bring the fire and the passion, and I can't
absolutely.
wait to see it in the buyback. But was there anything you think Billy could have done differently? He mentions in his exit, not going for Josh was was the main mistake here. But it seems like to me that Adam kind of shot his shot here and got him.
Yeah, I don't think I necessarily agree with him that he should have went for Josh. I think that he should have capitalized on the relationships that got him out last time, and I think that he just put a band-aid over it and left it alone and didn't go back and reinforce it at all. Like you can't just like say I'm sorry or say let's get over this and not like actually put in the work to like right the wrongs of what happened before. And I think he just kind of, let the sea wash over it, and then it was exposed again and people were like, oh, okay, well, this is the time, like we don't really have any super great ties with him. Sounds like everybody didn't want to piss off Grace. I think she's playing Mounds better socially. Um, but I don't know. I just think he should have, worked on the things that got him out last time. And I think he just was trying to play the same game and have it work again, which sometimes it does work, but it didn't this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, and last time he did have the comfortability of having that pendant that he found with Josh, all the way up until it was, not great. But yeah, it's tough to see Billy go out. But he was one of the people that went really deep into the buyback last time.
Yeah.
So if they do the same thing, I mean, he's probably one of the favorites to get back in.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely one of my favorites to get back in. I think that he is probably the most motivated. Like, I don't know. I always go back to like he flew so like he's from so
Yeah,
far away. Like, why wouldn't like I just feel like that
and
alone
his
gives
mom's in there.
yeah, and his mom's playing, like especially I don't know, just that alone. Like having my mom, like we both flew here from like however far away that is, like that's crazy enough motivation for me as it is. But um I don't know, there's a few other people that I could see like really putting in the time. I'm assuming it's gotta be endurance, but you never know.
Hey, and did you see, when the Billy and Aaron were walking in and giving people hugs, Chris G was just like not
That was
having it.
so I literally had to like take a second because that was so funny. Oh my god, I know Christy from like outside because we've played live games together before. And that's just how he is. Like if you do him wrong, like there is no going back. Like he is going to be petty ass bitch until the very bitter end. And then he'll be your best friend afterwards. But up until the actual game is over, I don't care if he's out. I don't care if you're both out. He is going balls to the walls petty. Petty. So I don't know. I think that could put a drive under him to win this because there's people he doesn't want back in the game. So I don't know, but he's not the greatest at competitions, I don't think. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh my God, that was so good. I think the camera panned back to him and how like just mad he was. And when Aaron attempted to hug him, he was like, "Good job," and then she walked away and she's like, "Deserved."
Deserved.
I was like, "Oh my God, so
He's
good,
so
so
petty.
good."
He's probably the most petty in the whole cast, to be honest with you.
Um, yeah, so much fun. But this next this next elimination, Peyton, is another blind side. I'm not really sure if Erin had possession of the pendant because it didn't seem like she publicly willed it back to anybody. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe Josh just held on to it.
Yeah,
What do you
I'm
think?
thinking so too, but I think that also because Stacy was saying that she heard her say like can I have it or something like that. So I think like maybe Josh had was like hiding it in his bag, I guess, the whole time. Um, but I don't know if she didn't publicly, we would have seen her publicly give it away. So either Josh has it or she went home with it. So I guess we'll find out the next episode,
Yeah,
hopefully.
because it reminds me of last season where Kira was blindsided with the pendant in her pocket, and she did not. I think when I did her interview, she actively decided not to will it to
Yeah.
anybody.
And
So
I
I'm
would
wondering,
too. I'd be like, fuck you all. I ain't giving this to nobody.
yeah. So that'll be good to hear from Erin during her exit interview. But what a move, right? What a blindside, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if that would have happened had they not have gotten wind that she did have something, but I don't know. Like I was expecting the girls to like actually work together like longer.
Yeah.
Um, but Taylor is just this. Honestly, this whole episode was the Adam and Taylor show. Like they ran both of those votes like flawlessly, so good for them. But as a person that's played with Taylor before, like face to face, she is brutal, like literally brutal as fuck. Like no wonder she's won like two of these fucking things before, but she's fucking brutal. So I'm not surprised, but I mean, good move. They all knew that she had a power or someone had a power, so I would have done the same thing, but brutal. Brutal.
I totally agree with you, Peyton, that this was, Adam is out in the mix all the time, but I think this episode was Taylor's coming out party because she's been playing it pretty reserved, quiet, hasn't really had to do much up until this point. But when she lies to Aaron straight to her face right before the vote, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and she will like go on to the next round like nothing happened, like I guarantee you. But this is like a perfect round for her to come out and do that because she can brush it off all on Adam if she wanted to. Because
Right.
Adam was out here like running his mouth about everything that he didn't need to say out loud. So she can be like, "Oh, it was all Adam's idea, and I just did whatever he said. He's my partner." Da 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 da. So she knows what she's doing.
What a fun moment, Peyton, with Chris and Erica coming together, forming the two halves of Pendant, just in case Chris needed some insurance on this vote. Peyton, how tough is it for, Chris in this situation? Do I play it? Do I not play it? How nervous would you be?
I mean, I would have only played it like 100% play it if she played something.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but because I like personally, I mean, for me, outside it looks like Erica is very, very integrated. So like,
Yeah.
I don't think she would hand me the half just to vote me out with a half because then it's gone.
Right.
But I mean, I wouldn't have played it if what's her face didn't play hers.
Aaron.
Um,
Yeah.
but still, like honestly, at this point, should he even give it back to Erica? I probably would. I probably would keep it. But no, I think he made the right call. But he did say he wanted a woman out because they're going to steamroll. But like he's integrated now with Erica, who is one of the most powerful women in the game right now, I think. So I think he's integrated well, and he still got out his target, which is I think he's playing phenomenally. Like if this is a very good example of someone that's upping their game from their previous season. Like he's fantastically, phenomenally doing a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris is playing really well. Um, so we see the two trends that have been happening post up to this point is, none of the returners are going, none of the women are going. Now we have one of each going. Do you think we're going to see kind of a trend of that happening now, or do you think that now that that's happened, these groups can kind of lay low and kind of gather and go after something like, you know, some of
Yeah,
the more newbies?
well, I think it depends on who wins the battle back, but I don't know if I don't see it like not that Billy was playing poorly. I just think that for right now, like he's the only returnee that's even been spoken about really at all.
Yeah.
So now that he's gone, I don't foresee the returnees being like, oh, let's start eating each other now because that, in my opinion, would be stupid.
Yeah.
And there's not very many of them that are actually connected other than being a returnee. Like that's just how they're connected. Like a lot of them I don't even think know each other that well. So I think they should keep working together, but also to be honest, like I'm a season one player, like the game is very different. So like if I went in and played again, like I would feel like a newbie, to be honest with you. So like I'm rooting for these newbies. Like let's get this newbie energy going because like that's like I really would relate more to them, I feel like. Um so I'm rooting for the newbies, but I don't know. I kind of honestly I just want Billy to win the battle back just for the chaos. So we'll see what happens.
Billy obviously is a favorite to come back in the game if it is endurance, but there's also a couple of people that are going into this thing that are, just as I think capable of coming back into the game. Who do you think, if it is endurance, besides Billy, who do you think stands a good chance?
I think I don't know Aaron very well, but if I was just completely lied to straight to my face and I got like I left knowing I could have saved myself, like I think that alone would fire me up to like stand or do whatever for endurance wise for however the fuck long I needed to. especially if they ended up doing the comp right after she left. So I think she has a good chance. And honestly, I think any first boo ever has a chance because they are probably the most pissed off since they just paid all this money and flew all this way and was in the game for like 5 minutes. Um, but I don't know. I honestly, the other ones, I don't know about that. I don't really, they don't scream endurance to me, but honestly, I don't know. I don't, I do know Chris G and like, he doesn't scream endurance to me at all. He's like very, like, not, I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it. He's very like, I don't want to stand here and do this. Like, I'd rather be doing something else. But he's also very competitive. So,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. Obviously rooting for him because he's my friend, but my money would probably be on Aaron or Blaker.
Be super interesting to see if Aaron got voted out with that pendant of power and she comes back in the game. Is she allowed to bring it back? I don't know.
That'd be wild. I don't know. Oh, wait, both the husbands are in there too, aren't they? Oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
think about them.
I think
They,
Jim's big into endurance.
yeah, I think they both are pretty endurance-y people, aren't they? They're pretty strong
Yeah.
people. I don't know. It depends on the type of endurance it is, because sometimes the like bigger muscular people are like not as good
Yeah.
at endurance. Like you know that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Even
Um
never never mind.
anyway, so okay. We have we talked about the battle back. We talked about the couple of votes. Um Peyton, who are you rooting for?
Well, my I did a draft pick,
Okay.
and Chris was my first pick, so he's gone. My winner pick is still in, which is Grace. Knew
Okay.
nothing about her before, but she is my winner pick, so I'm rooting for her. But right now, I think who I want to see do the best currently, obviously, is Grace, but Chris, I think, is playing really, really well. Eric, I'm rooting for just because my perceptions of him are completely different in a positive way than they were preseason.
Okay.
And I think someone playing really well that nobody is really talking about outside of the game is Stacy. I don't think any of the fans are really like understanding how well she's playing. Like even in this episode, so many people were telling her everything. Like she has almost every bit of information. And when she hears her name, she doesn't freak out. Like she's like, okay, cool, like that's fine. And she's like never getting votes, hardly. So I don't know. I'm rooting for them,
How
probably. Honestly,
important how important
probably
is
Stacey
that?
the most. Like being
How sorry.
wait, like being calm is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Peyton, how important is that, you mentioned Stacy having, hear your name being out in a vote. How important is it for you to just kind of remain calm? Because we see some players take a different approach and it doesn't really work.
I think a big thing is the like the time it comes like if it comes out like right before the vote, I feel like I would react differently. But if I start hearing it right at the beginning of strategy time, I would just chill out. There's a lot of time. Oh, I now in this type of ascendant, there's a lot more time than we would have gotten in season one. But um, I don't ever in ascendance feel like you should freak out if your name is out there. There's always something that you can do. Especially if you know where the power lies, like the pendants and stuff.
Yeah,
But I don't think you should ever freak out unless you 100% know your back's against the wall, then start calling these bitches out. But like, honestly, you never know. So, and I don't think you should ever actually call someone out until you're at the vote. But I don't know. Everything's different now. I feel like Ascendance is completely different than the Ascendance that we know. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you saw me call everyone out in my season, but obviously it got me to the end. But
exactly.
it depends. You just gotta chill sometimes. Yeah, sometimes you gotta call the bitches out. It just depends.
It's a timing, it's a balancing act.
Yeah, no.
Peyton, what do you think of Grace and Josh being a partner now? How would you feel if, you were the person that just voted out, Grace's son, and now
Yeah.
you're her partner?
Yeah, I would be pissed as fuck if I was her. But I also I would use this as an olive branch and completely get into the other side of the game because I think like automatically the people that voted Billy are probably going to think that she's coming after them. I would immediately olive branch it and be like, Oh my God, I know he was like destroying my game. Like honestly, he's my son, but I also came here to play and like we are two completely different social people. So
Yeah.
we live together at home, so I'm gonna see him as soon as this game is over. So like let's keep playing. Not sure what she's gonna do. She seemed okay when he was leaving, to be honest. So and she even said like, oh, you can pick the color, like I don't care, like we can do whatever you want. And then he was like being playful with her as well. So I don't know. I've been rooting for her from the beginning, and I always said if he went first, then she would excel more. So I'm curious to see if that's gonna be a thing.
I think she will. I think that Grace doesn't have the type of personality that strikes me as going for vengeance here. I think that she has like like you said about Stacy, her name has come up a couple times and she's been really good about it. Like not really did not freak out. So I'm excited to see post Billy, unless he comes back, post Billy Grace, how that
Yeah.
is.
Well, she also like it's not like let's get vengeance on three people. It's not like someone idled out 5 votes and 3 people voted him out. Like if she was gonna go for vengeance, she would be going for that entire team, and that's just not feasible. So she
Yeah.
needs to bridge the gap, or all of those people are gonna be against her. So it just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay, last question for the night, Peyton, unless you have something else you want to talk about. Who's in trouble next?
Honestly, if Eric and Michael wouldn't have won, like this whole episode would have been so different, I
I
feel.
think I think so too. Yeah.
Especially if the Aaron thing came out and Michael was not safe. I think Eric would have completely just like 100% been okay with Michael going home, which I still think he's okay with Michael going home. I still think that's the stupidest thing ever, and Eric needs to shut up. But um, I hope, honestly, that Michael can turn this around and Eric be in trouble. I hope people are going to be like, oh, you're throwing your partner under the bus who you've been friends with outside of this game for so long. Like, you should not be doing this. I hope people see it that way. But honestly, it depends on how Josh like perceives the situation. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
It's interesting. I think this is the first episode we get a glimpse of Michael kind of being like, okay, Eric's kind of not agreeing with me. Like he's kind of having those second thoughts that Eric has had the entire time at this point for the first time of the game. So I wonder if they eventually turn on each other or they try to.
Um, I hope so. I hope Michael would do that. Just the Michael that I know, I don't think would ever turn against his friend like that. But I don't know. You never know. I think he knows. Michael's smart enough to read the room, and he could clearly tell that Eric was like not having the bullshit. So hopefully he's just like, because he even said when they were in the room together, he was like, "Oh, I feel like our games are like separating."
Yeah.
And they are. So I mean, Michael's very self-aware. So hopefully he just gets the fuck away from Eric. Even though I'm rooting for Eric, so whatever. But um, Michael's
You can
playing a lot better.
you can root for both.
Yeah, I'm rooting for both. Michael's playing a lot better than he was previously as well. So kind of what
A
we'll
lot of
see.
eyes, a lot of eyes on Michael's early on, and
Yeah,
obviously with the public fight. But super different from when he played in season one with you guys, right?
a lot more confidence, a lot more. He's very much more outspoken now. Like season one, Michael would have just buckled under that fight. But now the people he got in a fight with are out of the game. So like, congratulations for that. So hopefully he keeps on, get, getting himself the traction to like, have more confidence and stuff like that. And I'm enjoying watching him.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Mhm.
Well, Peyton, it's always great to talk to you about Ascendance Live. Is there anything else that you could think of that we haven't spoken about just yet, or I think we covered it all?
Oh, one thing, shout out JG and his
Yes.
business. But yeah, other than that, no, that's pretty much it.
Shout out JG. Check out his YouTube channel.
So I just
He does re
subscribed during the episode, so period. He's about to hit 1,000 subscribers, so everyone get over there.
Go smash that subscribe button, guys,
Period. Smash it. I want your computer to be broke. Smash that shit.
and then do it again. All right.